Ready?
Let's do this. Let's play some football.
Okay. It feels weird if I look over there.
Yeah, I don't think you need to don't look at the camera.
I will look at the camera to introduce. Or
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if, again, it's not going to be the greatest of qualities, but I'll look at the camera to introduce, and then from there on I'll just...
I don't think I'm ever going to look at the camera, even when I go. If I do go, I'm sitting there thinking...
But you've got to look at it while you... They can't see Charlie Nicholas. They've got to see Charlie Nicholas.
Do you want me to start like that and go... Welcome to today. Charlie Nicholas is joining me on the theatre.
I mean, I'm already recording there. I'm already recording here. I feel like I should just start it somewhere along the line. Just welcome to the Crazy Podcast. This is what we are.
It's your podcast.
Hey, why not? We're already laughing. This is what it's all about.
It's completely up to you.
But, I mean,
so I'm not looking at the camera. It's Charlie Nicholas.
Yeah, welcome to TCF Sport. My name's Ben, joined by my brother Stephen. For those of you who are listening, obviously you've heard us all before, but for the first time ever, episode 74, it's only taken us 73 recordings previously, we are recording the podcast, video recording the podcast, which I am very excited about. But
that says episode 2 there. You sure?
Well, season 2024-25, episode 2, because are we rebranding? I don't really know as we're going forwards.
We?
Yeah. It's not even rebranding. It's just
I'm just trying to get a break from home. As all the other football fans are when they go. That's why I love away games. Oh, sorry, babe. It's going to be a few hours. Got to go to Newcastle today.
8 months of the year as well. It's,
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to put up with it for 4 months. So, how you doing anyway? Though, you okay?
I'm good, thank you. What about you?
Yeah, very good. I'm quite excited to be recording. That'll be the last time that I look at the camera, and now we just, as we normally do, speak normally. Oh no, yeah. Well, it's fun now because whenever you have a take that I disagree with, instead of just going, fair enough, I can just look at the camera and pull a Gary Neville face, like, okay.
Gary Neville face.
Oh, Brentford away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just do what him and Carragher did to Kelly Cates and just walk out.
That would be quite funny. Yeah.
I don't know if I can because the camera's right in front of the door, but there we go.
And you know, our very basic setup to begin with, but you've got to
Everyone's
start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere, haven't they?
Yeah, like all the learning that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks and months of recording like
I have
this.
a feeling at some point it'll be like 22 Jump Street and I'll be replaced for like a few episodes and then I'll be back and be like, what dispute? I've always been here.
Are you going to start recording with AI then if ever you're going to record on your own? Although, to be fair, now I'm back, that's not going to happen. But
I don't need to do that, do I?
Yeah, no,
I didn't have the time when you was away and now I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying we're going to split like the Little Brothers. The casual fans, what else could we rebrand as then? Or what could I rebrand then if we split up? TCS, the casual supporters. It's alright, I'm not leaving you. I don't there's nothing else there. I don't have the time. But I mean, that's why I'm always following your agenda.
Yeah. Hey, you can talk about anything additional that we'll come to. But I mean, for those that are watching us for the first time, not that it will be that many people, as you always joke about, who listen to us, but for those that are watching, I mean, we're just talk about Premier League football, don't we? Really?
We do, yeah. We ignore the Championship, we ignore League One, League Two. Sometimes we talk about the Champions League and other leagues.
Sometimes we talk about.
Sometimes
we talk about the Championship as well. I mean, because on a weekly basis, when
I was being disingenuous.
Yeah, but I mean, so every Saturday or every weekend of fixtures, do you often like check the Championship, League One, League Two scores as well as the Premier League?
I always look at the scores because when I look at the Premier League scores, I go, oh, being beaten by both Ben and James. Let's look at the Championship and see if the teams I like they're doing all right. Oh, no. It's just every weekend getting depressed, really.
Well, who do you want to come up from the Championship this year?
Sunderland.
Yeah.
Because my mate's a Sunderland fan.
Yeah.
Who else?
Did they win yesterday?
I think they... Oh.
I didn't talk about checking the scores.
They won the game 1-0.
I don't
know if that was last weekend or not. Though.
No, they won their first 4. They then lost to Plymouth last weekend 3-2, last minute winner. And they played Middlesbrough yesterday at the Stadium of Light.
1-0, I think it was.
Okay, so it was quite a nice goal as well,
1-0.
because I saw the goal on social media. Back here.
I'll double check that, because if I'm wrong, obviously people who will be watching this or listening will be going,
"You got it wrong.
You're a fan podcast and you don't even know the results of the Championship." See, don't care. Who else do I want to come up? I'm not really fussed, to be honest, because whoever comes up is probably going to go straight back down.
Yeah.
So, like we said on the last podcast, boring.
So exciting to talk about.
But keep listening and watching and all sorts. Ben needs to make some money.
Eventually, I mean, we've been doing this, 2.5 years now? And
yeah.
2 and a bit years.
Yeah, answers on postcard, please. How do you monetize this?
By actually being interested in
Well,
which neither of us are.
that's a matter of opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
We entertain each other. That's
Yeah,
what matters.
exactly. And enjoy it. I think, though, there's no better way to start this episode than a good tickaboo section. So, ignoring the games that were played yesterday, because obviously we're in the middle of game week 5 now. Tickaboos from last weekend? I take it you caught all of last weekend's football?
I have seen it now, yeah.
Yeah, in the Premier League?
Yeah. Are you wanting me to do
Take it away,
tickaboo?
yeah, take it
Okay.
away.
So it's Duran. Tickaboo!
For the banger against Everton.
Yeah. And then, oh, Harvey Barnes. Tickaboo.
With the you can't say that because it wasn't an equaliser.
I know, but but still, that's how we talk about all Harvey Barnes' goals, isn't it?
Ooh, Harvey Barnes. Yeah.
It's a good goal and all, isn't it, Harvey Barnes?
But Duran's was better.
It was, yeah.
Screamer, innit?
Absolutely smashed it.
Yeah. Do you think he should be starting for Villa?
I don't know, because I'm not the manager, so... Who starts ahead of him?
Ollie Watkins.
No.
But could you play them together? Because that's what Unai Emery was talking about.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, if Unai's saying it, he's got the qualifications.
Did you watch the Champions League highlights in midweek?
Yeah, it could have been 5-0 with 2 goals disallowed, didn't they?
So did you see the Duran's goal that was disallowed first?
The finish, yeah. That was left foot, bottom corner,
but
wasn't
it started outside the post.
Yeah.
Lovely,
yeah,
lovely.
That was a lovely finish.
Yeah.
Was that handball for earlier on?
Onana's handball, which I agreed with for that one, but for Watkins'
Watkins
goal,
was harsh. What's he supposed to do?
I don't understand where they. Yeah, but it was.
That's
Yeah, it was him that
was ball
handballed
to
it.
hand, though, wasn't it? Surely.
Yeah, but it didn't even look like it hit his hand. I didn't.
Yeah, I only saw it very quickly because the fantastic match of the day BBC Champions League highlights. Just went through it quickly.
Yeah.
Like Bayern Munich, like they showed all the highlights, and Bayern Munich was done like a cinematic thing.
Well, it's
like,
because they had 11 goals, so
I didn't want to see the 11 goals properly. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Because there was another good strike, Guerrero, in that game, the one that Musiala chested down. But yeah, so the Watkins one was harsh.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Do you think it even hit his hand? It didn't even look like it hit his hand.
So from what I've seen, it didn't look like it.
But I don't know. Do you know in the Euros they had that whole technology thing where inside the ball you could tell
the old
brushed
cricket bat
it.
edge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why they gave it? I don't understand.
Well, they didn't show it in the highlights.
No,
Program, so
but they didn't
know.
show. I was watching it live, and obviously that's when you have more in-depth analysis and highlights, and they didn't show it then. So
maybe it's thought, they've won the game clearly. They're beasting them, so it's men against boys.
I was waiting for that reference.
Were you?
Yeah.
They just came to me, really.
Or it's like when I was before the game even started. Dad, who have Villa got tonight? Young boys. That's a bit of an unfair matchup, isn't it? Yeah. Indeed, it is.
Dad's always got his finger on the button.
Yeah. Shut up. He'll be listening back to that. Yeah.
He'll
be listening
about. For legal reasons, you can't.
Someone likes my references. Yay! To be fair, I like all of his references besides that one. Anyway, I mean, the Duran question, should he be starting for Villa, was the first one of getting into a few Premier League talking points, just because Unai Emery mentioned it in his press conference the other day, and his form this season, coming off the bench, I think he scored in every game, bar one if he came off the bench against us, but if he didn't, then he scored in every game that he's come off the bench, and the finish against Young Boys was mustard. Like, you can tell he's going to be a top player.
Is he English?
Duran is Colombian. They got him from the MLS a couple of seasons ago. But it's mad, isn't it? Because they almost let him go in the summer. West Ham were looking at him. There was the whole thing over the summer that Duran posted something on social media, like doing the irons cross. Yeah, they then
and he scored against
didn't let him go.
Day.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a way to atone for a mistake, that's the way. And then he came out and apologised afterwards as well. And since then, he's been banging them in. It feels like only a matter of time before he starts more games.
It'd been funny if he'd gone like that after school and gone, "Are you joking?"
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's come to the Tottenham Arsenal game, because for those that don't know, who are obviously watching for the first time, we're Arsenal fans. We don't talk about Arsenal that much. I want to talk about Tottenham first, though. Is Postecoglou under pressure, and should he be?
I don't think so, and no, I don't think he should be either.
But a lot of fans calling for him to, or what? They played Coventry midweek, the EFL Cup.
It was late. I thought I was going.
But they got outplayed for the first 85 minutes,
Yeah.
And a lot of fans booed his substitutions, especially when he took off Lucas Bergvall, the young lad that they signed in the summer. And when I was reading on the BBC Sport, the live text, some fans that were messaging in, calling for him to go or calling for him to change his style, which the latter feels more applicable. To me, it's not a case that he needs to go, not far from it. He just needs to be a little bit more adaptable and adapting his style. And
yeah, but with the greatest of respects, you shouldn't be being outplayed by Coventry.
no, but I'm not talking about
home or away.
I'm not talking about Coventry. That's a game in isolation. But against us, so obviously we watched the game live. They had a lot of the ball. Sure, did they look like scoring? Besides the first 15 minutes when they had a chance or two.
Then would you argue Arsenal looked like scoring much?
No, I know, but we had.
We were more solid.
And you're talking about the adaptable style. We went there clearly to sit behind the ball, hit him on the break, nick a goal from a set piece, which is what we did. Tottenham,
Huzzah!
For all the ball that they had, they didn't look like creating much. They didn't look like doing much. But even though you then got Son coming out after the game saying they dominated the game and Postecoglou saying they played it in our half. Yeah, you might have played it in our half, but you didn't look like scoring. It's just a case of being a bit more adaptable sometimes. That's if I was a Tottenham fan, that is the gripe that I would have with the manager.
Fair enough. Well, there's an argument then, isn't there, for changing your style of play, based on. But do you also change it in game as well then?
Just adapting. Yeah, it's not necessarily because he plays quite attacking football. I mean, he played an attacking lineup against us. I think Rodrigo Bentancur was meant to be the holding midfielder, but sometimes if it's not working, you do have to mix it up. Likewise, I come back to the Chelsea game last season in which he was praised so much, and we've talked about before. So brave, I know. And we talked about so much before, but again, that was the case in point. Sure, you can be exciting and you can stick to your principles in that, but sometimes being adaptable is more relevant, is a better thing to do. They might have nicked the point had they been more adaptable.
I suppose it comes down to that argument of it's a results business, isn't it? But fans are fickle. Do you want results or do you want to be entertaining? Because if some teams are getting results, sometimes they have to be a bit boring. Then other fans are moaning, "Oh, we're so boring. Why am I paying £60 a ticket?" Fans want it both ways, don't they? They want entertaining football and to get results.
But that's what I don't understand.
Go hand in hand.
Yeah, because that's what I don't understand now about Tottenham fans calling him out. Last season, obviously, when they had the really good start, top after 10 games, I think they'd won 8 of them.
Yeah, I know, but
I know, but the fans were
fairness,
going
they
mental.
won the league in was it October
after Sheffield United as well when they scored 2
they went
late
1-0
goals.
down, didn't they, and scored 2 late goals.
Yeah.
And Richarlison got no, I can't say that.
Parading around the pitch.
Can't be too controversial. Now you can see my face.
Yeah, parading around the pitch, but I don't understand. They've gone from Conte and Mourinho, which a lot of Tottenham fans didn't like, and now all of a sudden question Postecoglou, even though last thing he was the best thing since sliced bread. I get it's not just this season because they ended the season quite poorly. I think since
January, February time maybe?
Yeah.
Started the downturn.
But besides Wolves, who have now lost 9 games since March time, Tottenham have lost 7 and they were the next closest to Wolves. So it isn't just this season. But again, you want to build something for the long term, you've got to stick with your manager. He just needs to be a little bit more adaptable. That's the only issue that I'd have as a Tottenham fan.
Is it the players as well, though?
Potentially.
I don't remember who I was having a conversation with. Was it maybe you and Dad last week? You look at the players they signed, who are good players in their own right, but you look at sort of Maddison, Johnson, Solanke. Now, yeah, they've had good seasons or wherever they've been, or they've shown they're good players, but you're bringing them into a team that doesn't have, other than Song, arguably, any top players to push them on. So you're trying to bring them together to make yourself a challenging team. Well, those players have never challenged for anything.
No, I know.
You look at the teams of, I think maybe I said this on the last podcast, like the Man Uniteds of old, where they'd take the really good players. Saha had a good couple of seasons at Fulham, went to Man United, but where he's gone there, he's challenging with other strikers who are going to push him on. Whereas those players are coming in and they're arguably better than the ones that are already there. So how are they going to kick on then?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh.
But then it makes me wonder who's making decisions to sign said players.
Who do Spurs fans want to replace him then if they want him gone?
I don't know.
Brendan Rodgers?
I don't know.
That's the only one I could potentially see.
But if they do, I mean, he shouldn't...
Pochettino's now in America, so he won't be going back.
Exactly. He shouldn't be under pressure from my point of view. He needs time to build something there.
Needs a good 5 seasons.
Are you saying that with your Arsenal hat on, or with your impartial hat on?
I'm just saying they're too quick to... we're too quick to say we want managers out. We said it with Arteta.
I know, we were both wrong.
Arteta can stay for another 5-6 seasons.
Well, he has. He signed a contract essentially,
Good,
until 2027.
It's amazing how we managed to turn it back into Arsenal there, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Postecoglou. Give him good 5 seasons. There's a contract. Give him what he wants.
Same with Ten Hag as well, yeah? Give him a good 5 seasons.
No, give him 15.
Before we move on from Tottenham, do you have any opinion on Postecoglou's post-match interview style, or especially last week after Arsenal? You know, he got questioned by the reporter about, you came out and said that you win things in your second season, and his response to that was, I said usually, it's always. Do you think it's a bit arrogant, a bit blunt? Do you really care about it?
So he said it's usually.
So
before,
said...
I know about his comment about, I normally win things in my second season.
Which is what he said before.
Yeah, because I kind of thought, when that was said, I was like, do you know where you are, mate?
Yeah. Or hence why Paul Merson said afterwards that he's got more chance of winning Strictly than Tottenham ever winning a trophy this season.
Oh, is he in Strictly this season?
He is in Strictly this season to change it up.
Oh, I thought he meant Postecoglou.
No, yeah.
He's a busy man.
Yeah.
You threw her up in the air and you caught her only just. That's how I do, mate.
So brave. Yeah, but then he got questioned about it again after the Arsenal game. He said, I change it. It's not usually. I always win something in my second season, is what he came out and said. But it's also just the people reading into it about the tone, and is he, again, it's an indication that he's a bit under pressure.
But he has won things. He got manager of the month 3 times in a row, didn't he, last season?
Was it 3 times or was it 2 times?
I don't know. I want to say 3.
So I reckon it was twice!
I haven't done that for a while.
No, we haven't. No.
Oh, good. We'll be killing that off for another few weeks then.
Yeah, we will be. I forgot about that one.
But we're going to continue doing it.
Let's come to Arsenal briefly, because I don't actually want to say too much. The main question I have is Gabriel Martinelli's form a concern? No goals or assists in his last 17 appearances. I believe a few of those were off the bench because Trossard usurped him at the end of last season. But to me, he looks short of a lot of confidence.
He desperately needs a goal, doesn't he? I think if he gets a goal, we'll see the Martinelli of a couple of seasons ago. Last season, he was a bit in and out and had injuries.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's short of confidence. That chance against Spurs, he needs to take a little more touch inside. Or
even square it to Saka.
Yeah. I mean, Saka had a defender on him as well, though. I mean, afterwards, Saka's like, square it to me, But yeah, and I know he missed chances on Thursday against Atalanta.
He missed our big chance of when Sterling put him through.
So he's desperate in need of a goal. I mean, the Odegaard injury is good for him, because if Trossard's going to be starting where Odegaard wouldn't, then he's going to be still getting more game time. Because otherwise, he was he was dropped against Brighton, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because Trossard was coming off the bench and scoring.
Well, because he scored with his first touch off the bench against Aston Villa, and then he let Mikel Arteta know about it by not really celebrating, which I quite liked, as did Arteta. You win the game, then fair enough.
No, exactly. Right. You want your players to be disappointed, don't you?
Exactly.
No one wants 10 Scott Carsons on the bench.
Apart from Scott Carson. Yeah.
It's good to have around, like Jordan Henderson.
Best card tricks. Best job in football, that, Scott Carson.
That's an amazing job.
Yeah. How big a miss will Odegaard be as well? I know we talked about it last week, but it's during in midweek, Arteta said that he's damaged his ankle ligaments, so he is going to be out for a while, was the quote.
A while?
A while. A while. Cool whip.
That's going to be a massive miss. They should just focus on the FA Cup or League Cup now. Knock the league on the head. Like,
genuinely.
Well, they're a different team, aren't they, with Odegaard?
We beat Tottenham last week without Odegaard.
It was Tottenham.
Got a decent point in midweek against Atalanta without Odegaard.
Yeah, I know. And we got Manchester City today. So that'll be a test away.
So positive you are. Positive.
Listen, there's a difference between positivity and realism. I'm just realistic. Some might say pessimistic.
Pessimistic.
Definitely not optimistic.
I know that much. To be fair, though, I mean, Odegaard was better than Maddison last week and he didn't even play.
Was that Paddy Power, was it?
No, that was a few on social media, other people. Paddy Power, though, as you said, they never miss one, because Monday, City's court case started. They've got Man City's legal team, lined up as like a football team, right at the back, right at the front, with a banner. Manchester City's legal team 2024-25 outside the Etihad. So they never miss Paddy Power.
Oh, they're good.
Always good. Let's come to a few of the other teams and a few of the other talking points. So talking about injuries, how big a miss do you think Johan Wissa is going to be for Brentford?
Not that big, really. And
You think?
Mbeumo's their main guy.
I disagree. Well, Mbeumo is their main guy. I know. We're recording. I disagree. Because those two, good partnership with each other.
They are. It'll be interesting to see how this affects, is it Carvalho? Because he should get more game time now.
Well, he started yesterday against Tottenham.
Yeah. I was surprised. I'd have thought they got a point against Spurs, at least.
Well,
I know I had them to win in the predictions.
Wait until you see it. I know Tottenham had a lot of chances, but Brentford also had chances at 2-1. The keeper, Vicario, was a bit erratic and presented the chance to Mbeumo. And if he squares it, I think it was to Lewis Potter in the middle. They score, but it's just a bit of composure.
Did he go greedy, Mbeumo, then?
Yeah, but I can understand it in the moment because the goal was there.
Okay.
If he'd stopped and looked up.
What's going on with Vicario? Because he didn't look as erratic last season.
Thing is, this is what I don't understand because...
Is it because Lloris is now gone?
In the same game, he made some really good saves and shot stopping looked pretty good. But he gave the ball away in that instance. Obviously, he was flapping at set pieces last week. The issue that I have with him and goalkeepers in general, Pickford reminds me of it as well. Just be calm. If you make a good save, you don't need to break your defence. Just have a calm head and do your job, as Rickens says. Do your job.
But Schmeichel used to do that all the time. He'd make a good save and then he'd absolutely bollock him.
But I guess Schmeichel could back it up because how many errors did Schmeichel make?
Not many, I don't think.
Yeah, but as a defender...
I was quite young when Schmeichel was playing. You weren't even born.
No, I know. But as a defender, when I used to play, that would drive me mad if my goalkeeper was doing that. And there can be exceptions if you're good enough. Fine, Schmeichel was good enough, fair enough. But when you're making mistakes and flapping at things, and when things are your fault,
some people don't always react to being shouted and screamed at all the time, especially if you've not actually done anything wrong. Like,
differences in style, though, isn't it?
and sometimes as well, though, like, you can't defend against certain things. You can't defend a great bit of skill. You can't defend against quality.
No, I know. You can't defend against Duran's strike last week because Pickford is one of the ones that usually moans and shouts at his defenders, but something like that happens. Unless Pickford had a longer arm, he might have been able to get there.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of that game, though, did you see Dominic Calvert-Lewin through one-on-one?
Yeah. So the second,
that was awful.
2 through one-on-one. The second one, when it was 3-2 to Villa and he had a chance to level it up and he hit the bar, probably should score, but was a little bit unlucky.
That was unlucky, but the first one, when it was still 2-1.
Yeah. When they were winning 2-1.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know.
Kill the game off. I mean, it's like he thought he was offside because he almost slowed down.
Yeah, or he didn't think that Konsa or a Villa defender would run back and challenge him.
It was just bizarre. You know, sometimes you're watching it, you sit there thinking, you're just like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I know.
To the two fans that don't play professionally.
Everyone's got an opinion, like you said.
It's true, everyone does have an opinion.
Let's come to a couple of teams who have struggled a little bit at the start. So West Ham, firstly, I don't know, obviously, you haven't watched the game yesterday, but you saw the result.
I saw the result and I was following it on the Score app, and there was apparently some abysmal defending.
It was awful defending. Are West Ham fans right to boo Lopetegui after just a month of the season?
No. No, they're not. They have no right to boo Lopetegui. Be careful what you wish for. This is what you wanted. But I'm just going to look at it here. The games they've played, all right?
Yeah.
So, Villa at home, which isn't an easy one.
No.
Palace away, which they won. Again, if you was going on the back end of last season, you'd say, again, not an easy game.
But even in the chances that Palace had and were unlucky with, Eze hit the bar and
Yeah.
a couple of others. But yeah, anyway.
City at home. Fulham away where they get a draw, and Fulham are good at home. And Chelsea at home. So they're not gimmies by any sense of the word. And with Chelsea, they're like Forrest Gump's mama's box of chocolates, aren't they? You never know what you're going to get. So it's not like they've had real easy fixtures. Are they booing because of the results? Or are they booing because of the style of play? Or because they have been open, haven't they?
Yeah, but I mean, yesterday was another level of not even necessarily being open. It was just poor defending.
I mean, if you let Jackson score against you twice, you've got problems.
I know.
Right.
I mean, for the first goal, we had run half the length of the pitch to score, and nobody went to shut him down. Centre half didn't go to shut him down. But as you said, be careful what you wish for.
David Moyes is on a beach somewhere with his phone, muting David Sullivan.
No, I said it last week.
Or is it Gold? No, Sullivan, isn't it? Gold died.
I think so. Yeah. I said it last week though that if he does get a call from West Ham, he's gonna go, "I want uno, dos, tres, zeros on the contract." Why not?
He's not going to go back there.
He wouldn't go back there. I don't think West Ham fans would want him back there just because they'd have to admit that maybe they got it wrong.
It's still early days though. I mean,
Of course.
they've got to. There was a Spanish manager last season that was struggling.
Who I said if he lost against Wolves, who Gary O'Neill was in charge of, and obviously his former club Bournemouth, you're talking about Iraola, that Iraola would be sacked, should be sacked, and he turned it around. They did lose that game, but he turned it around after that, didn't he?
He did. I don't think the fans were calling for him though, and the board kept quiet. At the moment, the West Ham board are keeping quiet, but the fans aren't.
Talking of other teams that are under pressure at the moment, or other managers, Gary O'Neill, I did just want to speak about, and Wolves in general. So, do you think he's under pressure, and are they in a relegation fight?
I don't think he's under pressure yet. I think they've had some tough fixtures, and they've still got some tough fixtures to come. Yeah, anyone who's not top six is relegation fight.
Well, it's interesting you brought up West Ham's fixtures. Wolves obviously played 5 games. 4 of the teams that they played, I think, were in last season's top 8. The next two of the next 3 games are Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
And then they've got Brentford in between. So the Brentford game's massive. Liverpool and City.
Brentford's away though, so that's still a hard match.
Is,
if they can get a point. I mean, that might be one of the ones where they win and be like, oh, okay.
Well, a bit like Everton
they're not
did
playing
last season.
though, are they?
They
Wolves?
aren't. Against Newcastle, they had chances in the first half, in the second half as well. They hit the post when it was 1-0. Yesterday, for the first 70 minutes, but especially for the first half, they had about 10 shots to Villa's 1.
Yeah. They're just conceding a lot of goals as well. But when you think they've lost, would you say Kilman was their main centre-half?
Yeah.
You know,
lost Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto's massive, even though a bit injury-prone, but
yeah,
when he played, he was good.
They've lost him, but it's the goalkeeper situation as well.
Yeah.
Sarr thinking he's going, and now he's obviously on the bench. I mean, I'd say Sarr's a better goalkeeper than Johnson, personally.
Yeah. Likewise, as we said last week.
So, but it all depends what Johnson's been told. Has he been told there is going to be number 1? Because they thought Sarr was leaving, but maybe Sarr leaves in January. But I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, those are the main two.
I mean, they should be okay though, shouldn't they, Wolves?
Really? Oh, to me, yeah,
right.
they'll be fine.
If you look at the other teams, Southampton, Ipswich, not so much Leicester, Everton. I know they got a point yesterday.
I'm including Leicester. I'm including Leicester in that.
I'm not.
I don't think Leicester are that good. I think Wolves are better than Leicester.
Well, we shall see when they play each other.
Yeah, we shall, and at the end of the season. But I think Wolves will be fine because it's just a matter of time before they put performances together across the whole 90 minutes as opposed to 70 minutes.
Yep.
So they'll be okay. And hopefully they stick with Gary O'Neill for that reason. That's all the main talking points from the last week that I wanted to cover, though, unless there's anything else that you wanted to get into.
Just did you see some of the Champions League goals?
I've seen bits and pieces. Which ones are you talking about?
Oh, just wondering what the best goal was for you.
I know the Guerrero one was good.
There was a guy at Sport in Lisbon scored a good goal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely smashed it top bins. I did see that one. I saw that one on social media. I can't remember what his name is.
The best.
Just leave that one there then, shall we? It was the best.
I think his name was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ones?
That was a good goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a
good goal. We got to go to them.
Yeah. Well, because they've got the Swedish centre forward as well, Gyökeres, who's been linked with...
we were linked with him, weren't we?
Yeah, because he was at Coventry a couple of years ago, banged a load in there. He was at Brighton before then. They sold him to Coventry. Then Coventry sold him on to Sporting, and he's just carried on scoring goals where's
the other striker at Brighton? He's not there this season now. He's at a Champions League team.
Denison Dav?
Yes.
He scored against Madrid in midweek because he plays for Stuttgart now.
Yeah, that's why he came to mind.
Yeah.
But it was the Paris Saint-Germain game against is it Girona?
Yeah.
They had the commentator was like, "Oh, you'll recognise a lot of these names," and a few of them. It's Brian Kill. He's there, isn't he? The Spurs guy. Yeah. Gazzaniga,
who used to play for Tottenham as well.
And then there was someone else who's not Tottenham, but yeah, you can take the player out of Tottenham. Yeah. He's a bit unlucky. He made some good saves actually.
Yeah, I know. I mean, PSG needed to win that game as well because they've got quite a difficult run of fixtures, including us next.
I look at their team, and Dembele's probably their standout player, isn't he? I don't think he's all that really.
No.
Like, if he was that good, Barcelona probably wouldn't have got rid of him.
Well, do you remember when Liverpool got to the final?
3-0, and he could have squared it, couldn't he? They made it 4.
Yeah, at the new camp
And
after Messi scored that free
hit
kick.
It straight into the keeper's arms, didn't he?
Yeah, and then obviously Liverpool went and did
and
them
Messi was
4-0.
like... Yeah, I do remember.
I know. Never forget that one.
Yeah, mentality, because he thought the game was done.
Exactly, but you got 2 legs and you have to go to Anfield. That smacks of you don't really know what Anfield's like.
If you play football, you need to have 2 legs, Ben. Most of the time. It helps. Just saying.
Well, you know,
and Bucky Lagrange has been put in goal. You got to think even a one-armed goalkeeper would come up and claim that ball. Oh, maybe not Jordan Pickford.
Or he's basically got no arms. I just really want to talk about some individual awards before we come to table of results and a few other bits and pieces. So obviously we adjusted our season predictions last week, as in for the 20 rankings of the Premier League table that we've done. Some individual awards that we haven't yet got into, but I just wanted to rattle through them, see your opinion on a few things. So getting into it, who do you think will be the player of the season?
Probably Haaland.
Yeah, Haaland for me, just because top goal scorer as well. I might as well cover that one straight away. He's top goal scorer now.
It'll just be him again, wouldn't it? Like, oh, well done, you scored 100 goals.
Yeah.
He should just play right-footed. You can only score with your right foot and your head. Make it fair.
He'll still be top goal scorer.
Above the baby.
Yeah. Manager of the season?
Manager of the season, Lopetegui. The Brighton coach. If he gets some top half, then I think he'll be a fair shout.
Fair enough.
I think maybe Eddie Howe would be worth a shout if they get Champions League football.
Yeah.
I think if Ten Hag, Man United finish above the relegation zone, he might be up for it. Tough job, that one. Yeah.
If Chelsea get top 4, potentially Maresca.
Yeah, if they get top 4, I don't think they will. I think they're still a bit hit and miss.
Against Bournemouth last week, they were.
Still got the win though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did Bournemouth miss the penalty last?
They did.
Well?
The centre forward, who I really like, Evan Nelson, that they signed from Porto. Sanchez saved it. I'll be boring. I'll go with Guardiola, just because I think City are going to win the league again.
Yeah, but winning the league's not enough for him now. Unless they get a points deduction and then still win the league, then that would be really impressive.
Depends how big the points deduction is.
But if I was City and they gave him like a massive points deduction, I'd say, well, can we not do it like Chelsea do their contracts and have it over 8 years? 2 points every year.
Yeah. I had no doubt City's lawyers will somehow manage to sort something out. Golden Glove.
Potentially Raya again.
David Raya. Because of how solid we are defensively. Yeah. David Raya for me. Well, Liverpool look pretty good defensively so far this season as well.
Yeah, I mean, did they concede against Ipswich? They didn't, did they?
They didn't concede against Ipswich. Although
Alisson... Or Man United.
Alisson didn't pick up a clean sheet yesterday because he didn't play. It was Kelleher. Alisson had an injury.
Okay.
The only game
when they've won their games, they haven't conceded, have they?
The only game that conceded was against Forest. And obviously
lost.
Milan midweek, but not Premier League.
Yeah. Maybe, we'll see. I'll still say Arsenal just because he's got that defence is...
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. And then when we were saying maybe we need to buy a striker, Arteta was like, I think we need another defender.
Yeah.
Arteta Odegaard's injured. Yeah, we need another defender. Raya's injured. See what you're telling me? We need another defender.
The defenders we've signed have been pretty decent, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Calafiori is solid. He looks decent on the ball. Most assists or top playmaker? Saka for me, just to give mine.
Palmer. If he's not scoring, he's assisting.
Fair enough. Signing of the season? I've given a few there, unless you can think of others. Again, I don't really know if there was a signing over the summer that really stood out for me. The most expensive was Solanke, but we discussed him last week, and that was a little bit too expensive. He did, which will be good for him and his confidence. Yeah.
Spurs fans would rather you did it the week before.
Yeah. Although he was unlucky with one header he had against us. But
yeah, or a little bit unlucky.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say too unlucky. Yeah, there was no real sort of standout signing, you'd say.
No.
Sign of the season. People go, oh, Arsenal glasses, but I'm going to say Smith Rowe to Fulham.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you should say that. Because
I completely agree.
yeah, he's up there for me. But just because you've gone with him, I'm going to go with Onana for Aston Villa.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking good at the moment, early doors.
Yeah.
I just think Onana hasn't been bought as an attack-minded player, is he?
No.
He's more... He was there to replace Douglas Luiz, a bit more holding, and I know he scored a couple of goals.
Yeah.
But Smith Rowe was bought to bolster their attack, and so far has done that.
Talking of Fulham, Jimenez has returned to a bit of form as well, which is nice to see.
Two goals in 2 games now.
His goal yesterday, which when you watch it was decent. So it's nice just to see him back to close to what he was.
FPL players everywhere getting rid of Muniz now.
Yeah, because he's not playing. Although he did get an assist yesterday for Reece Nelson.
Yeah, but he wasn't scoring when he was playing.
No.
Missing chances.
Yeah, well then get Jimenez in because he's the one that's scoring at the moment. Biggest surprise and most underwhelming? I mean, you can say a player or more specifically a club here. Up to you.
You tell me who your biggest surprise is, because I'm not sure how to take that one.
So the biggest surprise, only because of how I judged them before a ball was kicked, being very critical, I'm going to go with Chelsea.
Okay. It's fair.
Partially eating my words a little bit, but they do have a lot of decent players there. It's just how to get the best out of them. And the surprise for me is that Maresca will do pretty well and get a decent tune out of most of them, finishing top 6, which I would take as a surprise to me.
Still early doors.
It is still early doors, of course. It's early doors.
Wait until they have that little, where all those teams have their little blip and rough patch. Biggest surprise? I'm not sure. I don't think there have been surprises, really. Mo Salah's haircut. That's the biggest surprise. Like, shaving it all off. Never thought I'd see a head-shaven Salah. Is that to make him a bit quicker? Is he losing a bit of pace or something? So he needs to be more streamlined.
Obviously. Who knows?
Yeah. Or Mo Salah stealing Harvey Barnes' goal celebration.
Oh, what, the
old, yeah.
Yeah. He said that was from a UFC fighter.
Was it?
As why he's doing it, yeah.
Nonsense. He's been copying Harvey Barnes.
Fair enough. What, you're telling me that Mo Salah's got pictures of Harvey Barnes up on his bedroom wall and
going like this?
Yeah. He falls asleep to "Ooh, Harvey Barnes."
Well, I would as well. It's quite calm.
Like,
Yeah.
He's quite calm.
Harvey Barnes. Wanna go?
Most underwhelming?
Most underwhelming? I'd probably say West Ham. When you think about the hype with Lopetegui coming in, I know...
And the signings, though. And the signings that they made in the summer. Because everyone's saying they won the transfer window.
But then those signings need time to gel as well.
As does the manager.
And the 5 matches, and we've said here earlier about they've not been like the easiest games. So let them gel, let them get a run together, and then see how they go from there. Yeah. But it's too early. 5 games, it's too early. Especially the teams they play. If they'd played all what you'd consider like the bottom half, they played the 3 promoted teams, Everton, Wolves, who are struggling. If they'd played those and not got any results, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, you've got a leg to stand on.
Would you say they've been the most underwhelming team so far for you then, West Ham?
Maybe in terms of squad and expectation. Yeah.
I'd go Palace, most underwhelming team so far for me. Also because I watched them last night, and United could have been 3 or should have been 3 or 4
really?
Up. First half especially.
It's just strange how they clicked at the end of last season, and now they're struggling is probably the wrong word, but it's not. They're not
because it wasn't just a case of United played well yesterday. Don't get me wrong, they had a lot of chances, especially first half. But Palace, from what I watched then in the second half, just looked erratic and giving the ball away. When it did work and when it did click, Eze had a great chance to score, and he put it wide. He should have gone the other side of the goal, and it was a really nice move. But a lot of the time, just weren't gelling, giving the ball away too easily, just quite erratic. And it seemed a big difference to the end of last season. Whether that's just because they've lost Elise, it can't just be one player.
But they've also lost
Anderson, I know as well. Midfield's still the same though, and if anything, they've strengthened it with Kamada.
Yeah, but that means they dropped the Will Wheaton.
Yeah, but he started and then he took him off. Oh, sorry, they dropped Will Hughes as well. Yeah, sorry, of course, because he came on.
Yeah.
There's 2 people who were part of Will Wheaton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because Kamada was playing wide. Now he's brought Nketiah. He's put Nketiah in that position.
But even when... So he took Mateta off at half-time, meaning I thought Nketiah would go down the middle. He brought Sarr on, who I thought was a winger when he played at Watford. And Sarr seemed to be playing through the middle, and Nketiah was still
Just trying to get him
off
playing,
the right.
Trying to get him playing all over the place.
Mm.
Maybe that's part of the problem. That's good. That's a good shout, Palace, to be fair.
I only think underwhelming so far, though, because I think the most underwhelming across the season, and again, to change my prediction from the start of the year, Newcastle. They've had a really good start.
You're gunning for Newcastle.
They've had a really good... Because there's something... Something doesn't feel right there.
Newcastle are the Northern Fulham. Good at home, not so good away.
But, I mean...
They did beat Wolves away.
They didn't play that well against Wolves, and yeah, they ground out a result, fair play. Sign of a decent team. Yeah. Yesterday, they should have brought it back to Tool when Leno gave the ball away to Shah, and he could have squared it to Isak. When you watch it, they should have scored.
Thank goodness they didn't. I needed the point.
The performances...
I didn't need the third goal. I could have had two quick scores.
Villa, with their third goal, swings and roundabouts, innit? That's what got you 3 points in that game.
Yeah, but you got 3 points after 12 minutes.
Here we go. I can look to the camera again. Is it?
Game is rigged. Rigged, I tell you. Rigged.
And we'll see after the games today where we lie going into next week. But Newcastle, most underwhelming across the season, is my prediction.
Fair enough.
Before we get to the table of results...
Don't hate me, hate him.
We talked about the Champions League on the last episode. The only question I didn't ask, though, is who do you think is going to win the competition overall?
Probably one of the top European teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's not going to be Santos or River Plate. Who's going to win it? Who is going to win it?
There's only 3 teams for me, and we say them every year.
So the 3 teams for you: City, Real Madrid,
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I don't think Munich will.
I don't think Munich will. No.
Who's going to win the Champions League? Inter Milan.
They've looked pretty decent against City.
They're quite defensive, aren't they?
Yeah,
we're
but
going to
the
struggle when
counter.
we go out there.
But not just being defensive, it's packing a punch on the counter as well. It's a difficult thing to do, and they did it well against City in midweek. And
City had chances, though.
I know City had
had
chances.
a couple of clear-cut chances that went down the keeper's throat.
Yeah, and so did Inter.
Yeah. Inter Milan, yeah, let's go someone different.
I am going to say City. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if Madrid won it. Well, if I said Madrid, that would be boring as well. That's who I think.
It's your opinion.
I think, indeed.
Yeah. Inter Milan's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm just trying to say
Be
something
different. Not Arsenal?
Not Arsenal. We've had the Odegaard discussion.
He'll be back soon.
He'll be back.
A while. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. Is he like Gary Wackett, managed to shake off a broken jaw?
Well, again, it's all of the comments on social media. You just got Arsenal fans commenting, I'll donate my ankles so Odegaard can play. I'll donate them. I would as well, by the way.
Yeah, if it's ligaments, they normally say ligaments is worse than the break for a bone, like a bone break.
Yeah, they haven't put a timeline on it, which is never a good thing either.
No. It'll be like, oh yeah, we're still monitoring it. We'll still be monitoring it next season. Then when he actually does come back, it's that fitness.
I know, it's got to get up to speed.
Sharpness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 24-25 season. Well, great season.
And on that note, let's come to the table of results. So, for match week 4, I did the worst of us 3, for a surprise. I got 3, you got 5, James got 8, which means that the overall scores after 4 game weeks, I'm on 26, you're on 25, and James has opened up a little lead with 31.
Is he making you sweat? Not used to being behind, are you?
I'm not used to losing, being behind in this. I'm okay. There's long seasons to go.
Still 34 match weeks to go.
Long seasons to go. So when that
actually 33 because we're halfway through this week's one.
Yeah, when that lead gets into double figures is when I start to stress a little bit, I think.
Yeah, see, I don't. I'm just like, I wonder what forfeit I'm doing this year.
We've got 2 that we still need to do, which we will do.
I know.
Sooner rather than later. Before we finish, other sporting chat. So you mentioned off podcast after we finished recording last week, the Adrian Newey move to Aston Martin.
Yeah.
What did you want to say about it? Do you have any opinions on it? Thoughts on it?
I was surprised that Ferrari didn't get him with Hamilton being there. But congratulations, Fernando Alonso, on winning your Formula 1 Championship.
Well, he deserves
for
it.
Season 25.
Fernando Alonso is one of the most underrated, or he is one of the best drivers of all time, in my opinion. And the fact that he's only won 2 World Championships, to me, is a little bit of a travesty and undeserving. There are times that he's been in the car. I remember the 2012 season when he was in a crap box of a Ferrari up against Vettel's Red Bull, which was the best car on the grid. He pushed it to the last race of the season in Brazil, could have won it, nearly won it. Vettel came through the field after a crash at the start of the race. He deserves more titles. I know he's pushing on 45 now, and the fact he's still in the sport, fair play to him. But if he can just be around a top winning car, if he can perform a little bit more magic, get him a 3rd World Drivers' Championship, please.
I don't think it'll go to Lance Stroll, the owner's son, who will be in the number 1 seat.
Nah.
No?
Hopefully not, no.
I think that's who they're aiming for.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's
then
about the car, not the driver. That's what Valentino Rossi said years and years ago when he moved to Yamaha, because Honda started to believe it was about the bike, not the rider. Or so he says.
yeah.
Or something to that effect, yeah. I read the book a long time ago. Oh, no, it was because you were talking about Alonso saying in a crap box of a Ferrari.
Mm.
But he was at McLaren. And I know Hamilton came through, and there was that falling out, wasn't
Rookie
there?
season.
So
yeah.
then he left McLaren, but Hamilton's first World Championship was in a McLaren.
Yeah.
Had he stayed there, he might have.
Don't get me wrong.
So that's what I was going to say. He could have had a 3rd World Championship.
Arguably, Alonso has been the master of his own downfall with some of his moves, changing teams at the wrong time or going to the wrong teams.
But as
But
bad as Daniel Ricciardo, though.
he's going to be. There's rumours that he's going to be out of a drive completely after Singapore. They're going to cut him mid-season.
Really?
Yeah, replace him with Liam Lawson.
Why?
Because
Is he doing that badly?
Well, I don't want to say past it because it's a bit unfair. But when you've got younger talent coming through who have proven that they can get more out of that car, he just hasn't got it anymore, which is a shame because everybody talked about him being a future world champion when he first came into the sport with Toro Rosso and then Red Bull, just not performing anymore.
Yeah. I'm still amazed that Carlos Sainz can't get a better seat than Williams.
Yeah. New regulations in 2026, though. You never know. It could mix up the grid again.
Yeah. It's good that the latter part of this season has been more entertaining and you get different people winning. Verstappen will probably still win the title, won't he? Because he's got so much of a lead.
The first third of the season,
Yeah.
which he built it up.
But it does make it more entertaining.
Yeah. When you go into a race
I
each week.
actually look in to see the results now. Because
Yeah.
before it was just like, well, it'd also flash up and it's like, oh, Verstappen wins. You're like, oh, and the grass is green and the sky's still
How
blue.
much has he won by is you used to question.
Yeah.
Now you've got 8 drivers, 4 teams. It feels like
Verstappen's
to
won
win.
by 10 laps.
Genuinely, because Perez was never going to challenge him.
It's a bit unfair though, isn't it? Like, fair play to those other racers because they're on push bikes and he's in a car.
Honestly, it's what it feels like.
Oh.
Formula 1, Formula 1.5, Formula 2 is what it started to get at. Anyway, did you see the result of the AJ Dubois fight last night as well?
I did.
Do you think Anthony Joshua is now done, finished as a top-level fighter?
No, I don't actually.
Do you not?
No. When I saw the text that he'd lost, I was going to send you a message saying that's it, it's done. But seeing the highlights, I think he got a bit overconfident. Dubois had the better of him for
We knocked him
the
down
rounds.
4 times
Yeah.
before he knocked him out.
I know, but there was, in that 5th round, he'd started landing a couple of heavy punches, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think he thought he was getting back into it, and he left himself well open.
He
And
just-
Dubois caught him on his jaw.
No
and that was
cover
it.
at all. And
No, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
he almost started to get a bit overconfident of, he's been rocked now, and he never has. Well, I don't think he has been. But yeah, Dubois was like, that was a good couple of shots, mate. Bang! It was like, hi, I'm Barry Scott. Yeah, it was just gone, wasn't it? Like, but
Was that a Sit It Bang reference?
yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going back a few years. That,
Yeah, I know.
that one. Yeah.
Only because of the word
No,
bang, by the
yeah,
way, not
yeah.
not the other bit before people go, oh, hang on.
There's a bang in the day, it's gone,
Yeah,
that's what,
no,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
because people are, no. But before coming over, I was sitting there thinking. I was thinking about, he must surely regret never fighting Deontay Wilder and unifying the belts, because I think he'd have had the beating of him in his prime, and they both seem to like duck each other.
I don't
And
understand.
especially with Deontay Wilder's results, like losing to Parker, and and I don't know if we discussed this on podcast, but I've said before, I think the sort of hype about him not being a proper boxer because he just used to basically beat the crap out of people.
It was a one-punch bang, wasn't it? That's what it was.
Because then there was those fights like against... I mean, Tackham did really well to stay on his feet, I think, against him, but like Parker and that sort of thing, where it's almost like he turns to show, no, I can box.
Yeah.
It's like, the fans don't care. I want to see... If you knock him out in 2 rounds, great, 150 quid this, but you've won. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, so I think if, like, when he retires, if he doesn't win the belt again, because he's never going to be unified, I think he'll regret never taking that chance to
fight Wilder.
And because I honestly think he would have won, but...
Well, yeah, likewise. And I don't know. It's difficult to know, isn't it? Because the promoters say various different things. Promoters on both sides say, oh, it's your fault. Oh, it's your fault. I'd love to know why that fight could never be made if one of the other one was ducking each other. I guess we'll never know. And yeah, as you said, it's an opportunity missed.
But if you wanted the belt that badly, if you wanted to put your name... I mean, his name's in history anyway. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you wanted to put your name in history that badly, you're already a millionaire.
What's the money? Yeah.
You go, all right, we'll both do it for nothing then.
Yeah.
Just the belt's on the line. Both do it for nothing. This is to see who's the best of the best.
Exactly.
Of the best, sir.
Men in Black. I got that
one.
Yeah.
Hey.
I got that one.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I saw his post-match as well. And he was talking about fine margins and stuff like that. So he was saying all the right things again. I think he knows that he probably... When he had a couple of big hits on him, he went in too quick. Because he was like smiling at him, wasn't he? And
overconfidence.
Was like, oh.
Well, it was like when he fought Dillian White all those years ago in 2015, and he was smiling at him, and then he got rocked with that left hook. And yeah, don't get me wrong, he knocked Dillian White out afterwards, but he got rocked for the first time in his career. Be professional. Do the job. Do your job.
Yeah, so fair play to Dubois.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone was writing him off and thinking it was a gimme for AJ.
I wouldn't say that much, but personally, I thought Joshua was going to win just because after his 2 defeats against Usyk.
The hype.
Well, he started to perform.
Hype, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Is
Joshua back to his best? No, I didn't see that. But again, people were commenting underneath about ring walks, and again, the sign of overconfidence, or he didn't really know what he was doing on his ring walk.
His ring walk was a lot longer than Dubois', and I don't know if Eddie Hearn manages Dubois, but you can certainly tell Eddie Hearn manages AJ.
Frank Warren manages Dubois because that's why the fight was on both BT and Sky, or TNT.
It was on both channels.
TNT, yeah.
All right, okay. Yeah. The ring walk. I mean, it was the Klitschko one, wasn't it? When it was on the platform going up, it's like, do that stuff afterwards. Then I don't get doing all that before.
Because you've got
overconfidence.
We've talked about it many times before, but being in that arena, you've got Klitschko. Then came out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop. I get to ring, jogging to it.
That's why Can't Stop was playing.
Yeah,
to get there before the end of the first verse.
He ran there.
I know.
He was ready.
They barely started singing, and he was already in the ring, and it's like, can we leave the song on? Good song, this.
Yeah, well, I mean, the heavyweight division in general, obviously Fury and Usyk next, but
their rematch.
Usyk's world. It's Usyk's world, in my view, in my opinion, because he's feel. He's very feel.
I feel discriminated in Poland.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, I don't know what all that was about, and it got handled pretty quickly. But like Zelensky's like, I want an inquiry into this. I think you got enough going on, mate. But this is the thing in the world now. As long as they've apologised, whatever it is, if someone's made an honest mistake, apologise, get on with it. Why do it need to be like, oh no, someone needs to lose their job? And
well,
I don't know the background of it, obviously.
To me, again, I don't know the background either, but it should be Usyk's decision as to whether or how he follows up. If Usyk is okay with it, and the police on their side have apologised, or they're okay with whatever Usyk did, matter's done.
Because you don't know what's been said or what's gone on or anything, and they could just be on any bit of intelligence doing their job. That's what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
For all you know. But yeah.
On that note, that's all I've got to say. Anything more that you'd like to add? Are we all good?
All good, I think.
Yeah. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you to everyone listening, and thank you to everyone watching, especially if you made it this far. I might have made it this far. I might be the only one who makes it this far when I watch it back. But
maybe. There's definitely going to be someone watching there going, that was incorrect. Oh, that's out of order. And to that person, Have fun.
Anyway, you shall hear us and you shall see us on the next one. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.